Hello, hello, and please welcome. I think the audio was slightly too light. Hello. I'm smiling, however, it's not really that funny over here today. My wife is sick, lies in bed like with fever and some stomach problems. So basically, everything at home was today on my bald head. Besides that, it's cold. It's middle of the winter. Well, actually, technically, the winter have not started yet, so it's not really a winter. And don't remember. No, I remember last time I was flying. It was last week when I was playing with the Atomer Sea Swordfish. And today, finally, we're gonna have a live stream because it was, I don't think, like two weeks or maybe even slightly more since we had the live stream for the last time. And there are a few topics, especially the topics on the DJI and the INAV side, because come on, everybody loves DJI. But also, not only, there will be also a few funny stories. Bandita, I see you. I see you, Andras. I see you're here. It will be story that includes Bandita, by the way. So everybody say hello to Bandita. Nice to see that you managed home. We're also going to talk about the Radiomaster. We're also going to talk about how wonderful it is recently to be a full-time YouTuber, which, by the way, I'm not really a full-time YouTuber, so at least I don't have this kind of the problem. But everyone who went full-time YouTube is already right now facing some pretty interesting times, or rather not really interesting, because if you do not have million of views, you're getting like nothing, at least from the ads, but also from I was able to observe also it's not really improving on the Patreon side and all the other things like that. We're also gonna talk about the Express LRS. We're also gonna talk about the FreeSky, because why not? We're gonna talk about the Avata and the Remote ID. We're gonna talk about the Express LRS, probably even some more. We're gonna talk about the INAV and the DJI and the DisplayPort and something that is called the compatibility mode. We also gonna talk about Radiomaster Boxer. We're also gonna talk about the Betaflight, and in general the list is pretty long. I also have the whole page over here, and also yesterday I was in the cinema. Bandita, to answer your question that I'm drinking water. Yes, I like we talked the last time. The plan was that I was today not drinking water but something else. But unfortunately, like I said, my wife is sick. I prefer to be in the driving conditions, so nothing really. If anything breaks, like anything, at least one of us is capable of driving a car. She isn't, so it has to be me. So unfortunately, water. But Prost. Water is also pretty nice. And now the funny story. Like when it was 2-3 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago after the previous live stream, Bandita dropped me an email. Hey Pavel, I will be in your area in the next week. No, it was different way. No, sorry, I'm right now I'm just lying. Hey, which kind of wine do you like? Because I live in the region of the Hungary when the wine is the thing. I said like I really have no idea because I never really got the taste to anything. Oh, don't worry, no problem. I will get you something. I'm coming to your neighborhood because Andras was on the business trip. Let's call it the business trip. Okay, fantastic, outstanding. We already spoke like last year, so he already knew more or less where I live. I knew when he's working from time to time. So okay, fantastic. Cool. I will get a bottle of wine from Hungary. Wonderful. Like, come on, what else do you expect? What else do you want? Okay, he dropped me an email. I'm here and there. Okay, I will come drive to you because you're busy. I will drive to where he's working because he's busy. It's like 10 kilometers from my house. I go there. I meet the guy. I meet Andras for the first time. Like, okay, we have a nice conversation, and then it turns out that he got me not a bottle of wine. That would be too simple, man. That come on, really, like, come on. Why to bring a bottle of wine to your favorite YouTuber when you are on a business trip, like 1,000 kilometers from home? No, he got me 10 bottles of wine. I was really like, what? But what am I supposed to do with this? So one more time, Andras, thank you very much. This is like like the story of this year. This is what happens when you expect to get 1 bottle of wine, but instead get 10 bottles. So kudos for you, man. You're really the hero over here. But on the other hand, I helped him a little. I think I gave him some M3 screws and nuts because he had none and he needed some. So I gave him some. I hope that it went into the good news. So that's the situation. Besides that, how's your life? What's going on? How's the preparation for the Festivus? If you don't know what the Festivus is, then please watch the Seinfeld Chronicles. Then you will know what Festivus is. We did over here absolutely nothing yet, besides the fact that this year the New Year's Eve is on us. It was supposed to be made by my mother, but she landed in the hospital a week ago. She's out. Like, okay, nothing really like super major, but she was in the hospital for slightly longer than a week, and she's not really up to the task of organizing the New Year's Eve. So it's on us. So it will be a lot of cooking. I will have to probably cook something. I have no idea what yet. Maybe fish soup. And that's really traditional Polish cuisine for the New Year, for the Christmas Eve. But I like making fish soup, so it's gonna be the fish soup. Besides that, what else in the FPV? In case I've missed something, if you don't know yet, I'm kinda like, I don't want to say disconnected, but I'm not really observing as much as everything like I used to. However, another thing I had to add to my. Another thing to add to my list, because soon, and by soon I really do mean bloody soon, there is a pretty good chance that we're gonna have the new MCUs on the market. Because everybody knows what's the situation and availability of the STM32s, basically non-existent. And this is the reason why so many of the flight controllers are discontinued, not only because the fact that nobody was buying them, but also because it was so hard to find them and the prices just will go skyrocketing because of that. We're gonna have a new one, and this is confirmed. This is the ATM32. This is the ATM AT32, let's call it like that. I really had no idea. I really had no too much time to really dig into that. AT32. This is ARM V6. This is the ARM like STM32s. They are almost compatible pin to pin with the STM32s. And they are made by the company called, I forgot how the company was called. Who remembers who makes the AT32? Because I forgot. Arteritech. Arteritech makes AT32s. There are some minor differences, and looks like we're gonna have the pretty new series of the flight controllers using the Arteritech AT32s pretty soon. King Pupra, it's pretty good. I have to say that in case I'm maybe not the best cook ever, but there are a few things that I really do pretty nicely. And the fish soup is definitely one of them. The second one is the baked turkey. I'm also quite good at it. So we're gonna have the AT32 flight controllers. By the way, there is also something like the problem, not the problem. There is like the public announcement from the Betaflight side saying that they don't support anything 8032. But I think that it will happen sooner or later, because it has to happen sooner or later. And the company, because there is already a company that is actually have them on the market. Let me quickly check, because I forgot the name. This is the Neutron RC. Neutron RC has the flight controller. 8032. Can we find something? Yeah. Neutron RC has the 8032, but I'm not sure if this is publicly available yet. Besides, I have not prepared really to that well to that, but there is one. And Betaflight said, "Oh, we don't support this thing because we don't support this thing." INAV also does not support this thing, but INAV will support this thing as soon as the people responsible for the AM32 will actually propose the pull request. And this hopefully will happen quite soon. I promised to get a few samples of the Neutron RC. What's exactly the name of this thing? I don't remember the name of this thing, but we can also check on the Betaflight 8032. Yeah, public announcement service, blah, blah, blah. And this is the... Never mind, this is not really important at all, but you're gonna have them. I will have the samples, and when I will get the samples, then I will show you what's going on. MC Creations, new gyros pop up in the market soon as well. Maybe, who knows? But let's all remember that the problem. By the way, have you seen how many drones both Ukraine and Russia is right now manufacturing? Like the shitloads. And they are manufacturing those with like publicly available components. In theory, you cannot really like sell modern electronics to Russia because of the sanctions left and right. However, like, let's be honest, if anybody would like to buy something, this is not really the problem. Martin Christianson, I have no idea if you can use Cube IDE to program 8032s, but internally this is compatible. This is ARM. This is ARM v6. I think this is ARM v6 as well. There are some problems here and there. Small differences, but from what I remember, the small change into the Betaflight and INAV libraries that bring support to the 8032 is really like minimal. So if Cube IDE have not really like changed something, then it should be pretty fine, I think. But I really don't know. There was somewhere an article. Not this one, not this one, not this one. This was like from I don't know, a few days ago. Not something like that, but there was really a lot of drones manufactured by Russia, and they are really like quadcopter 5 inches with stock motors, stock ESC, stock flight controllers. The frame was something else because the frame was partially closed. And they are like making those things in huge numbers. I really don't know where I saw this picture. Maybe I should pay more attention, but this is really happening. And if you are thinking why you cannot really buy motors, yeah, this is why you cannot really buy motors. Because like the drones are amazing way to spot for the artillery, for example. Like forward observer, you do not really need a forward observer. That to go somewhere and open himself to line of fire, just take out fire for effect, and then you see how to correct the artillery. So amazing stuff for the militaries, of course. But that's the reality. I also heard a rumor. And by the way, King Pupra, thank you very much for your super kind donation. You're really the man that I like seeing on my live stream because you donate every time. I love it. I love it, mate. I really love it. And I lost. I forgot what I wanted to say. What was I babbling about before we proceeded over here? Come on, please remind me. Yeah, I heard a rumor. But about what? Yeah, about later than the drone made en masse. About the chip shortage. This is about the chip shortage. I had a rumor from some people deeper in the industry inside of China that right now the estimation is that the chip shortage will end probably not sooner than 2024. So most probably 1.5 to 2 years of the current situation when the prices on everything are like 100% more than before COVID, and this is we have to live with that. On the other hand, let's be honest, do we really build as much as we used to build? Like, for example, I'm almost not building. I almost stopped. Like my collection of drones and airplanes got greatly reduced. I'm selling a lot of stuff, and so that's the thing that I heard. Not the good news. On the other hand, if you have the flight controllers, then it's not that we will be forced to buy new flight controllers very soon. Because there is not much of the progress. If you have anything based on the F4, F7 or H7, you're golden for years. There is not really that much of the chance that there will be something drastic in the development of the flight controller software that we're gonna need slightly more modern thing. Robert Spencer, fish soup. There are many kinds of fish soups, like really like that much. I like to make this French one. This is called the boulebus. I never forget the name. French fish soup. And this is called bouillabaisse. Okay, I'm butchering French language. Bouillabaisse. Oh, bouillabaisse. Exactly this one. I like it with the some clamshells and some shrimps and all the goodies inside. Extremely tasty. And if you make it slightly spicy, it's like that good of the fish soup. Of course, come on, you can make a fish soup if you only have the fish. That's not really that complicated. I'm also not really like following the recipe of the bouillabaisse completely because getting sea fishes over here, especially during the winter, is kind of complicated. So instead that I'm, for example, the base I'm making from carp. Carp heads. You only have to have like 2 heads of the sweetwater fishes and boil them really good, and you have the base for the soup. Not really what the original like recipe had in mind, but I'm adapting. It's interesting. It's simpler to buy lobster and shrimps and clams and stuff like that than heads of the fish. Saltwater fishes over here, like come on, because nobody really like is buying this stuff, so it's really hard to get. So that fine. Flasky, what do I think about Sabre and Rifter 3D printed planes? STLs are available for free on their C Groove. My take on the 3D printed airplanes is that it's complicated. 3D printed, maybe I will even record this segment, because then I will have to make less videos. My take on the 3D printed aeroplanes is that it's complicated. The great advantage of the 3D printed aeroplane is that, well, yes, you can 3D print it at home without absolutely getting any kind of the special materials besides the 3D printing filament. From time to time, some glue and some carbon fiber spars and stuff like that. So it's simple. And it's very appealing because you can easily make it into any shape, of course, if you have the design. If, however, you do not have the design, then it's not really that simple, and most probably doing this good old-fashioned with some kind of the foam and the knife is actually a simpler way. However, the problem with the 3D printed aeroplanes is that the 3D printed aeroplanes are 3D printed, and that means that they are bloody fragile, and they are not really that simple to fix as people might think, because I have 3D printed aeroplane, and when I crashed my 3D printed aeroplane, the general the agreement on the topic is that you only have to print what you broke. However, if you broke a few pieces there and a few pieces here, and you have to print the whole aeroplane, it might take a full week of the printer's time. So it's really taking a lot of time. It's simpler, it's faster, and it's cheaper to repair a foamy, because when you have the foamy, not only usually the damage will be less expensive, but also it will be simpler and cheaper and faster just to fix the foamy. With the 3D printed airplanes, it's not really that obvious, especially in case of the designs that use carbon fiber inside, which is glued. But no matter what's gonna happen, if you broke the 3D printed spar inside of the wing, you will not remove the 3D printed and glued. You will not remove the spar that is glued in to the filament and replace it with something else. It's just not happening. So I'm really I have mixed feelings about that. There are gains, there are amazing things about 3D printed designs, and well, there is also the thing that they are usually a single crash things. The foamy design has much better chances of survival than the 3D printed one, and there is not really too much of the discussion about this. Even if you use more durable filaments, I don't know, polypropylene or nylon, they are still pretty fragile, because they will not be fragile if you put a lot of filament into that. But if you put a lot of filament into that, it will become heavy and not really that well flying anymore. But if you have the 3D printer and you have some time and you would like to do something interesting with your 3D printed, print yourself one. It's really a good experience, and it gave me really a lot of fun to 3D print the design I have. Let me get it, so I will show you what I have. I have something like this. It's the 3D printed Goblin from Przemek Jakubczak. I have a few videos about this thing, by the way. By the way, it's super dirty on the side because it was lying under the ceiling for the last year or so, maybe even 2 years, probably shorter to 1 year. I will probably make a last flight of this thing. Because it's basically only taking place and I'm not really using this thing, and I still have the designs. So if I want to have one more of those, I will just 3D print it. Flies great, very fast, quite agile, but this is my second one because the first one disintegrated after the first crash and there was really nothing to recover. There was a lot of things to recover, but nothing was reusable. The only thing from the first build that survived was the nose. Everything else just had to be printed one more time. And if you break the wing anywhere, you cannot glue this part of the wing because this is all one huge 6-segment 3D print with a lot of carbon fiber inside. So 3D printed airplanes are cool, but remember that they really inherit the biggest problem of the 3D printed designs. If they are light, they are fragile. but still kinda cool. Flies great, crashes not so much. So that's Mr. Hagi, even if you laminate it, it will not really solve the problem. It will not really solve the problem because the thing that will kill the design is not something that can get through the wing, but something that will just break the spar inside. And like this design. There are like 3 1mm carbon spars, rods inside of the wing. After the crash, 2 of those broke in half. So you know, not really that great. But they are pretty cool things after all. And we have some people like saying what they built. For example, Chrysler Orca 3D. Let's see what we have over here.
Wszystko. Grafika.
So something like that. Yup. Pretty nice. Pretty. The web page is not the fastest one ever, but you know, looks cool. Looks really cool. So yeah, but I can guarantee it's a single crash design, and you will have to print everything from scratch if you destroy it. But they are a lot of fun. So that's that. Everybody's joking. Brandon Beans, yeah, exactly. The foam is indestructible. If you did everything by the book with the foam, like glue it with the hot glue, laminate it, and it will fly. With the 3D printed, nah, not really. That's yeah. Alex FPV, what about the Flybot mini race wing? If I use lightweight PLA to print wings for it, what do you think it will be okay? What do you mean okay? In case of durability or in case of the design itself? Durability will be just like any other 3D printed durability, period. It will break. However, lightweight prints are just like 50% lighter than the not lightweight prints with the lightweight filament. So, and the lighter the wings, the better, most probably. In case of strength, it will be basically the same. You will not sacrifice anything like the strength of the whole design when you will do it with the lightweight filament. But of course, yes, if you crash it, it will be to be replaced, period. And there is nothing really like, and you have to land it like a balsa one. I have a good joke. No, I don't have the joke yet, but remember balsa airplanes? The 3D printed airplanes are the new iteration of the same design. One more time. Remember balsa airplanes? The 3D printed airplanes are the new iteration of exactly the same idea. You spend a week building it, then you crash it, and you spend the week building it. You spend a week building it, but this time not cutting from balsa, but 3D printed. Then you fly it, then you crash it, and then you have to start all over because there is almost nothing to recover. It will be a short. Guys. Oh, Blacky Stech. Hello, Mark. What's up, man? By the way, Mark, I will have to talk to you later, not about your landing procedure. By the way, Mark, may I show guys something that you sent me over Discord? This screenshot of your logic conditions for the landing one. It's amazing. Go ahead. Mark likes to do stuff. And Mark... made the auto landing procedure with the INAV programming framework and the logic conditions. This is what he did. This is like 26 at least, because I have no idea what's below that. Different logic conditions that in case of Mark's airplane are handling the auto landing procedure. Like, man, you should be a software developer. And I'm not really joking. This is amazing, man. Oh, I'm really like super under great impression of what you did over here. I have no idea what that does. I have no really like even too big of the intention to go into details of exactly what is the algorithm or this thing, but it's really like super cool. Exactly. Be like Mark. It's like, come on, man. You're a hero. You are really a hero. A few more to control flaps. Like, So that's that. I will have to talk to you, Mark, about Alex FPV. Hello, and please, thank you very much for becoming a member of this wonderful channel. You will get the special perks, you know. You always get the special perks. Ay. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have not read it yet. I'm really like, ooh. This week I was slightly more active than the week before, but still there is quite a lot of things happening right now, and I will want to talk to you because hopefully in the month or two I will want to run a series of the beta tests, and I will need some beta testers for the system I am building. And no, this time it's not a system, it's not a web page, system for the pilots. It's the system for the YouTube creators. System for the YouTube creators, which will extend, hopefully greatly extend, the every single analytics capabilities of the YouTube. YouTube has pretty nice analytics built in, but it doesn't really give you any information about so many things that it's really like a shame nobody really built it before. Because if with some creative queries on the database, you can, for example, pick up the videos that have a potential for growth, that are right now in decline, that are not really meeting your targets, and so on and so on and so on. Maybe even do analysis which topic on your video for the next video in your case is better than the other one. So you know, there is really like quite a lot of things, and I'm building this because I miss something like that. I never found really anything like that. So for the last few days, I'm coding a lot with Java again, building this thing right now. Mike Bergman, has anyone printed with the NinjaTech Chinchilla TPU? I'm trying to figure out what is the $1.90 for 1 kilogram of filament. Probably not worth it. Honestly, like probably not worth it. TPU, I would not pay more than $50 per kilogram. Absolutely not. Because I'm not saying that the chinchilla is not better in some way. I'm only asking a question if this is worth it. This is also the same reason that I don't think that any filament, practically usable filament right now, that you can use every day is worth anyway more than $50 per roll. Okay, not maybe per kilogram, but per roll. Even I would not pay as much for nylon or polypropylene. You really can get amazing polypropylene for that price. But okay, if you want to try it, then maybe there's really like something super amazing over there. I doubt it, but maybe, who knows? But I would not. Turbo Lizard, is it possible in INAV to change the mixer and pits during the flight? You can switch between the PID profiles. Yes, so you can switch pits. There is the logic condition that allows you to activate the PID profile. Let me find the flight controller, so maybe Alex FPV, thank you very much for your super kind $5 donation for a beer of a coffee. Probably a coffee. I'm not really a beer person. And I have no idea why, but it turns out that for the few years, and it's really like for the few years, I drink beer only when I'm in the Czech Republic. Really, like honestly. I'm basically only drinking beer when I'm in the Czech Republic. And I'm there like once. Before COVID, I was kind of every year in the Czech Republic because of the winter vacation skiing in Szpindlerowym Młyn. Oh, this is like the older version probably. What kind of the version do we have? This is Betaflight, so we'll have to flash it. So BL, let's flash it with INAV, and I will show you how to switch between PID profiles. But right now you cannot switch between different mixer profiles. And I know that you are asking this thing in context of the VTOL. There is Shota, the guy who fixed the artificial horizon in INAV. Is working on something, but this is not usable, not really flyable right now. And this is greatly experimental stuff. Maybe something will come out of this, but nobody knows yet. And so no, you cannot switch the mixer profile during flight. You can deactivate all of the servo rules, so you can have something like the two profiles, but it's not really actually the same. Mark, no, I have not noticed any problems with the GPS. None. But in the last 2 months, I probably used GPS on my drones like twice, and airplanes. But I heard somewhere that the jamming is a thing recently. Russia is jamming like crazy. I doubt it really comes to our part of the Europe. Maybe Mark, you live like close enough to some air military installation, and they are just jamming. Who knows? Maybe. But coming to the question of the Turbo Lizard, in the programming framework there is the where is it? There is the modulo. It's there. Set profile. Exactly. Set profile. You just set the profile. It's a profile 1, 2, or 3. Activated, for example, when the value of the RC channel, I don't know, 6, not the highest value, high, not the highest. So you have RC channel 6. Then if logic condition 1, then activate profile 2. If however not, where is not operator? Not logic condition 0, then set profile 1 active when 2. And this is basically the code that switches between PID profile 1 and 2 based on the channel 6. And then of course you can program both profiles just by selecting them, profile 1, profile 2, and applying completely different PID values in the tuning tab like you would do normally. So this is doable. But mixer profiles are not switchable right now, and I cannot promise if they will be switchable in the near future. So that's that. By the way, I saw the new Avatar yesterday. The thing about water. Avatar, how it's called? Avatar 2. Avatar 2, which is called I forgot how it's called in English. The way of water. Yeah, the way of water. In Polish, it's like the person of water. Yeah, you know what? I expected it would be much worse. Honestly, I expected this movie would suck. But you know what? This movie does not really suck that much. I mean, it's not the best movie ever. Especially the first 1/3 of the movie is really like, what? I know why the first third of the movie is like it has to be, because it has to set the premise, like set the stage for everything. After all, it was like 13 years between this and that, and like the story picks up like kind of late, and they had to like move there. But nah, the first third, like no, it's like what the fuck, like Geronimo and stuff like that. On the other hand, I do have to say that the especially the finale was not the finale itself, but even before the finale, that was like okay, I liked it. I'm not sure if this thing was worth the kind of the money that they paid to make this movie, but the movie itself, I do not regret going to the cinema and seeing it. So that's good, and I would even have to say that it was probably much better than quite a lot of the videos I watched recently, like MCU for me, like MCU ended with Tony Stark. Like there was nothing in the MCU right now that really makes any sense in this thing. So like no, this thing was really like pretty nice. I'm not sure if it's that good that I would like go to the cinema for the second time, because most probably this is not really the case. But the movie is like okay, okay. Some say that this thing costed like $1 billion. On the other hand, the Elon Musk paid $40 billion for Twitter. So okay, $1 billion, and it's not sure if this, but this is not sure if this was $1 billion for Avatar 2 or Avatar 2 and 3. And so, but still, like, what the fuck? And interesting thing, if they want to break even, if assuming that this thing, I heard something like if the cost of making the movie was really like $100 million, then most probably, yes, the cost of making the movie was $100 million, but it does not include, for example, marketing and other additional things that have to be spent to put the movie to have a huge success. So marketing expenses are not part of this $100 million. On the other hand, when hey XJet, hello Bruce, we're gonna talk about money later, probably. I don't know. On the other hand, when they reporting how much the movie earned in the cinemas, this is the brutto. This is the brutto, not the netto that goes to the studio that make the movie. So I heard somewhere that if they want to break even, the movie has to make at least twice as much as they spent of making the movie. At least. And even then, this is considered like a flop and not really a great success. So if they say really it's true that they spent $1 billion on making the Avatar The Way of Water, this thing would have to probably have at least $2 billion in the income to break even. Unless this is like this is for the two movies, because I also heard somewhere that they already have the second part really like already recorded. It's in the editing. Who knows? But the movie is not bad. I'm not okay. Let's call it like that. Paweł recommends. Paweł can recommend Avatar: The Way of Water as not the bad movie. This is really like something. Long. It's absolutely too long of the movie. 3 hours 15 minutes. Like what the hell? But not really the worst ever. I don't think it will sell greatly in Japan. I don't know why I'm saying, because there is some message, but the message is that, for example, that it's not that there are many genders and men are bad and women are awesome. This is not the case. We finally some have positive and really like strong male characters, and like family is important, and family is like the husband and wife and kids, not only like never mind the message that we have currently everywhere. On the other hand, this is like strongly like the message is that taking too much from the planet is too bad, and whaling is absolutely no. And but by the way, I agree with that thing. But it was even good enough that the last half an hour, so instead of like sitting in the chair in the cinema, I was like, so it says something. Pavel recommends. It's a good movie to watch. Probably once. You will not think too much, besides the fact that men are scum and we should be ashamed what we are doing for the planet. But in general, it's fine. It's fine. So, Bruce, you were right. Bruce is always right. I identify as the person that knows better. Come on, the fact that you can identify as whoever you want is just like, whoa. I'm not, by the way, I'm not really insulting anyone. I'm one of the most tolerable persons in terms of life choices and partners and vision of how to live your life. Absolutely, like, do whatever you want. Man, it's your life. I don't care. This is your freedom. Do whatever you want. Like, I absolutely do not care. You're free. But your freedom ends when someone else's freedom starts. So please do not try to imply your vision and opinions on me as a facts, because that won't fly. Anyhow. Whoever expected that the DJI Avata will not have the remote ID, well, really. But why? The reality is that yes, like Bruce made a video, and you had this live stream, Bruce. I think you did. That well, whenever you will fly the DJI Avata, your position will be in the internet and stuff like that. Yes, but whoever expected otherwise, kinda, I have no idea what you were thinking. The reality is quite simple. United States are the biggest market, period. If not counting the military applications, special applications for drone, the United States is just the biggest market for the consumer electronics, and the DJI Avata and all the drones that we are using are just the consumer electronics. And if the DJI wants to sell drones in the United States, they have to comply to the rules they have in the United States, period. So, and you do not design the product like Avata or Mavic or whatever else you are doing without taking a look at least 1 or 2 years into the future, because you will not be releasing the next version like in 2 months, because that's not really like how you make a product. So when DJI was working on the Avata, they already knew that sooner or later they will have to comply with the remote ID, and they comply with the remote ID. Period. There is nothing really to add. Is this the end of the hobby? I don't really think this is the end of the hobby. I would not really go that far in my assessment. Because there is a huge difference between, let's say, being, or maybe not. Maybe let's roll back a little. First of all, I don't believe that remote ID is something that you can enforce. This is the reality. You cannot enforce the remote ID. If the hobby is really about the flying and the stuff is about building your own stuff, then, well, you cannot enforce it. There is not a technology in the world that would allow the officials to know that somebody is flying. Of course, if somebody will like really like the police or whoever, the secret drone police will come over and say, oh, no, you're flying, but you're not remote ID, then you're kind of screwed. On the other hand, the chances of the drone police coming to find you when you are flying in the middle of nowhere is not also something that is happening. Because why it should be happening, how it can be happening, nobody knows when you are flying in the middle of nowhere. Of course, if you are flying somewhere where people are, it changes everything. But if you're like who knows where, nobody will care. Nobody will absolutely care. So that's that. People who, but this affects the hobby in the way that it's not helping the hobby. Because the general vision, besides the FPV, especially after the last 7-8 years, is that the FPV gives you freedom. You're free to fly and you're free to experience what your drones does, and this is amazing part of the thing, because you're not really like limited to observing your model. You can feel like you are flying inside of your model. So this is how the one of the biggest selling factor of the FPV was. Now clearly this is gone, because you cannot say that I'm free when I have to report, I have to transmit my position and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. So that will definitely limit the number of people that will come, the new people that will come into the hobby, and will most probably cause at least a few people to leave the hobby, because this is obvious. So we'll become even more niched. It will be even smaller, and there will be less of us, and nobody will really care about us, and we will have to pay more for the electronics. Because yes, the smaller the hobby gets, the more expensive everything gets. That's just the reality. That's just the scale, production scale. The bigger your manufacturing and sales, the cheaper everything gets, and that's all. So it will not, of course, like kill the hobby, but to some extent it will kill the hobby. Like for example, in Poland, in general, in Europe. For like 2 years, you have to report. No, you have to. This is not really the remote ID, because you're not really like broadcasting this thing anywhere. But this is like a remote ID, because the aviation authorities, the PZM, no, PZP. Polska żegluga powiesz. I forgot how they are called. That's not really interesting. We have the app that I open the app and I have to make a new check-in. I click the new check-in. I post my ID of my pilot and type of the operation, line of sight, of course, only, and for how long I'm flying. Does it take away my freedom? Not really, because I usually forget. No, not the usually. Like in 1 every 4 times, I forget to fill it in. On the other hand, I know that some people never do it. On the other hand, one of my colleagues had this thing semi-useful twice. Once, in the way that there was some. By the way, we fly like far from everything, but still somebody decided that it doesn't like the sound, and the woman. I was not I heard it from his relation. The woman that lives like a few hundred meters in the house somewhere else came to him. Oh, but you are flying and this is loud. But ma'am, we are flying far away from your property, not over your property. Oh, I will call the police. And he's ex-military. And his reaction was, yeah, okay, so please call them. Yes, do, please. I'm flying fully legally. My flight is recorded. Not recorded, my flight is officially in the system. And you are right now threatening. Please do call the police. And she was like, And that's the last time he heard anybody heard about anything about something like a Karen. Karen, yes, the typical Karen. And by the way, like they build a house. They build a house in the close to the meadow we are using for flying. And when they first build the house, oh, this is a nice house. Okay, they did it small but kind of nice from the outside. Looks okayish. Like okay, they did it super fast and so cool. But then they build a garage, huge ugly garage in front of the front windows. So all of the windows have a view on the garage, like. So Frank de Bros, it would be Karyna. Polish version of Karen is Karyna. There is a Polish name, Karyna. So Karyna. Okay. That's the Polish version of this thing. So that's one. The other situation when this application was semi-useful, he said that he was flying the same place, and then the police came over. And the only thing that the police was interested was saying that, oh yeah, we saw that you registered, cool, we are here to test our drones. And they like pulled over the DJI Matrice, this huge monstrosity of the drone to teach themselves how to fly this thing. So that like nobody was really like, what are you doing? While flying, I had the police encounter also once. The squad car came and they asked me if I saw a girl, because like someone reported that there was a girl like crying and running towards the forest, and have I seen her? No. Okay, and they were like, nah, ciao. And other case was that my drone was stuck on the tree, and then the police guy. But not during this duty hours. He was also the pilot. Came and he recovered my drone from the tree, and that's like in 7 years the only like really like contact with any kind of the like situations, any kind of the situation. So I don't really care that much, but it's really like hard to sell it as the freedom hobby when you do have to report. I personally absolutely do not care about. But if you have this thing, let's say semi-legal, then it's much better. There's also this thing about the insurance. If you all the insurance in the exclusion options, if you're doing something illegal, then the insurance will not pay. So even if you have the insurance and you cause the trouble with the drone, but you were flying illegally, then the insurance will say, nah. On the other hand, if you're using express LRS in Europe, you are flying illegally. So they always can say, we don't care. Oh, speaking of the express LRS, I know many people wanted to talk one more time about this thing. I recorded my video of the review of the Boxer on Wednesday. This thing, by the way, came in mail on Tuesday. I recorded video on Wednesday and published on Thursday. So, and because we have right now like -5 all the time, I was not flying. During my review, I had not have this thing yet. This is the molded. This is molded, not 3D printed, gimbal protector for the Boxer. And you know what? I think that I will drop this thing. I think for time now, I will remove the AG01s from the TX16S. I will put them in the Boxer. And I will also say goodbye to the Immersion RC Ghost over here, because Ghost kinda like I'm pissed off at Immersion RC. They did exactly the same thing that they were doing all the time, and basically stopped any kind of the development. Never really like went to all the things that this thing in theory can do, but decided not to care. Express LRS seems to care, so today I ordered Express LRS receivers, and I will migrate my small fleet from the Immersion RC Ghost to the Express LRS. Yes, I know I could flash the receivers of the Ghost to the Express LRS, but I'm not interested in doing that much. On the other hand, maybe I will. I have not decided yet. Those receivers will not then have the Wi-Fi, so updating the receivers will be always with the ST-Link, so like complicated crap. So it's probably just cheaper and better to sell the Ghost, because I have, for example, 2 radios with Ghost. I have Zorro and the TX16S, and then I will just combine both into one, because this is probably like small enough that I will be able to carry this. Wait a minute. In this. Last year, when I started to fly more at 3 inches, I made myself a suitcase like that. I think this is the case for the DX16S or something, I don't know. I just attached to 3D printed loops with some Velcro to attach to drones. I have this beautiful thing. Inside there's plenty of space here for the spare props. Here fits perfectly the goggles, and here I have the Zorro. But I think that I will just be able to fit, as you can see, Boxer over here. And this thing lies in my hand as well as the TX16S, but it's smaller and has Express LRS built in. I will not have to carry an external receivers. It's a win-win situation, so only with a few small changes I will just get a nice option not to carry this thing with external Ghost receiver transmitter. Like, why? And that's that. So you see, Immersion RC did what they did, like always, abandoned the project, like everything they did before. So I'm switching to Express LRS and the Boxer. On the other hand, I really like. I don't want to stop using this. This is so beautiful, you know, with the leather pads and the golden buttons, and it says Paweł Spychalski on the power button. But this is just lighter and smaller. So maybe really like this is just the better choice for this case. I will probably fit a different antenna though, because I don't like this antenna like that. I will probably just screw in the foldable dipole, because like, why? Smaller, lighter, and probably also more modern. So that's that. I really do like what they did with the Boxer, and that's clearly visible that the Mambo was the inspiration. And by the way, I also like this button over here, the latch button, great for arming. I always hated using this switch for arming, because when you use this switch for arming, then it's super simple to disarm when you keep your radio on your lap, because you just like flip it and you are disarmed, armed, very dangerous. With this thing, there is not really a danger. You can, by accident, you can press this button, so that's not really happening. Good choice, by the way. I really do like the choice of that. I will just swap the gimbals, and amazing. So that's first about the Boxer. Art Drone Hobby. Any news about INAV for rovers, and could you point any resources about how to set it up? But man, I have at least two videos about how to set up INAV on rovers. I'm not joking. Let's go to the YouTube. Maybe it's not for the latest version, but still on the version recent enough. There are really like small changes. You will get it. There should be a search. Where is search? Why the fuck? There is no search on my own channel. YouTube, you. Anyhow. Spychalski INAV rover. Yeah, you see INAV 2.5 on a rover tutorial. And
Hi, my name is Pavel.
how young? And that was only recorded 2 years ago. So there's this, and there also should be a second video about INAV on the tracked vehicle. INAV on a tracked vehicle. Spychalski. So yeah, I also have this video. So just use this and just use this, and this basically should bring you closer. Oh, bright until I fly. It was years since the last time I talked to you. Come on, man, where you've been? How's life? Everything good? Jack, what's up? What's up, man? Everything good? Everything nice? How's the weather in the United Kingdom right now? I heard that there was some snow and everybody freaked out. I work right now with the guy who lives in London. Actually, two. One lives in London. We are in the same team. One lives in London and second one lives in Manchester. And they are, oh, snow, like, ah. Everybody really like freaked out. So yeah, those two videos, Art Drone Hobby should give you started with the problem without absolutely any problem of how to set it up. By the way, the rover setup is extremely similar to the airplane setup, because the rover is the simplification of the airplane when there is no altitude control. And that's basically all. So that Caroline Tyler RC, yes, definitely. Like Caroline Tyler RC mentioned, the INAV 6 will have the option to track back return to home. So when you are flying, the INAV will record more or less the approximation of the path, and when you will hit the return to home, it will just go on the same path. So if, for example, you are riding on the rover around the lake and you will hit return to home, the rover will not try to go directly through the lake. Yeah, that you know. That's more or less a nice thing. Kirkirov wants to build a special aircraft which requires specific motor acceleration and deceleration. I can do that by changing ESC signals coming from the FC using Raspberry Pi. The next part of the question: so how can I decode ESC protocol, make some changes in it and push the signal to the ESC from Raspberry? Are there any libraries for that? So the problem. The thing is that I would not really use Raspberry Pi for this kind of the problem. If you want to, I would go rather with Arduino. Arduino will do it nice better, because Arduino will be able to basically to read a signal, and that is the PWM. And even you should be able to find the D-shot decoder for the Arduino and then encode it. Also, the Raspberry Pi has a problem with the PWMs, so it's really like complicated. On the other hand, I still do think that the best way to handle actually the motor acceleration deceleration is to build this method into the INAV mixer. you will have to build the code this way or the other. So probably just the simplest and the most obvious thing is to just build this functionality inside of the INAV directly. By the way, some time ago, the INAV had the option to drive the acceleration, deceleration of the motor, but because was probably not really what you wanted, that's kinda close. We dropped this functionality as not used. Brighton till I find me on the Let's Drone Out? Sure, why not? When? This year? I don't think that we will be able to do it this year. Because, well, it's almost end of the year. But if you have something for January, I'd love to spend an hour with you talking about crap. But do not make this joke about meerkats anymore. That was kind of offensive. No, I don't care. I absolutely don't care. So just drop me an email. You know how to contact me, and let's figure out about the time when I can be on the Let's Drone Out. By the way, I really do think that I should start having guests on this live stream. I definitely think so. I was really hoping. YouTube for some time was hinting the go live with your friends function, so you can invite someone to your live stream. Seems like a great idea, right? Fantastic, outstanding. Let's do it. We did it. We made it. You can invite guests to your live stream as long as you are streaming from your smartphone. Who the fuck is streaming from the smartphone? Completely useless feature. I think I will definitely would like to have guests on the live stream. I will probably have to decide on the format and decide on the, let's say, general idea and when to do it, how often to do it. And then maybe we will just start having guests over here. StreamYard. I will probably have to pay for the StreamYard. Okay. Instagram bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Like what the fuck. On the other hand, yeah. So that's that, and they messed this thing absolutely up, and you cannot really use it. What else? So that's that. Oh, have I? I don't think I showed this thing to you. Remember, like 2 months ago, month ago, I had 1 or 2 streams when I was building the Y4, 3-inch Y4 drone. This thing is alive. This thing is flying. This thing is almost amazing. Let me show you some pictures. I even made some pictures for the thing. You see, it looks like a real drone with the battery. Like, come on. Looks like a real thing. No, it's not a video, of course. Also, I should have somewhere some B-rolls, like fantastic, outstanding. Because good B-rolls are the half of what a good YouTube video is, and not only YouTube. And this thing also flies. Somehow, not really like, I don't have yet a very good footage, because turned out that my big camera is completely not prepared to record videos of the small flying object on the background, on the very contrast background, and even the smartphone had a problem. But as you can see, it's flying, and there is even some DVR from the goggles that shows that it's flying. You see? Well, it even can do a roll. So that's the Y4. This Y4, this very Y4. with two motors in the back on the one arm. Not the best flying performance, to be honest. Pitch is awesome, yaw and roll not really that much, but it's flying. Dex FPV, thank you very much for donation with the 5.99 of the euros and the question. The question from Dex FPV. Get more than 10 satellites, but error is saying cannot arm, no GPS fixed. Try with different GPS modules and INAV default settings. Any ideas? So it's not really about the number of the satellites. The only option is you have to wait slightly more, and if you are testing on inside of your house, then most probably this is the case. If you are, however, testing outside, the condition exact is not really about the number of satellites, it's really about the quality of the fix. So you have to wait some more, and also, which is very important, you have to verify that the GPS receiver is not jammed by VTX. This is happening very often, that the GPS receiver is jammed by either by the VTX, it can be walk snail, it can be DJI, it can be analog, it can be even the 900 MHz crossfire. If the antenna is too close to the GPS receiver, it can just damage this thing. So there is no magic, there is no special settings that allows you to fix this problem. You just have to wait longer. Let me get the drone that has the GPS installed. Let's take this one. And yeah, GoPros are absolutely terrible in terms of jamming the GPS. I even have the video from like a few years ago when I showed that this is really happening, and this is not something that let's even maybe find this video because you know. You cannot see. GPS.
Hi, my name is Pavel.
Oh, so young, so naive. So there's this video that shows an experiment with the SDR that shows that the HD cameras really put a lot of RF noise in one of the bands that the GPS uses. And like the proof is there. The proof is there that it might just block it from going on. But speaking about the GPS again, so the fact that you have the C over here, the 10 sats, doesn't mean that you really have the solid fix with enough of the precision for INAV to arm. There is a way to override this thing. For example, the extra arming safety. Read about INAV extra arming safety. Well, we can come find even the link. INAV extra arming safety. Yeah, so there is a pull request and there's a settings even. Settings. So this should give you the information about how to live with that. I do have to say that disabling extra arming safety is not really a good way, because if you take off without the good link and then you will want to run the return to home, well, you really do not have the good home position, so that can be problematic. But like I said, there is no special setting that defines this thing. It's supposed to be fully automatic. You absolutely should not think about this. And if you are testing inside of the house, this also affects the quality of your GPS fix. So always test those things outside, never test those things inside. And there is not really that much I can Oh, I love those kind of the questions. RC Tom, I got info that INAV 4.1 works better than INAV 5. Could you please elaborate and explain how it works better, which feature works better, or just everything works better, or something works better? Because, the thing is that we are getting this kind of messages that there is a better version of INAV or anything else every time we release anything new. There is even there is still a bunch of people who say that the best version of INAV is INAV 1.7.3. Bullshit. We release new versions because new versions have fixes for stuff that was not working. Yes, sometimes, of course, there can be a bug or something like that introduced in the new version, but then there is usually a next version that fixes this bug. And this is guaranteed that old versions do have a lot of bugs not fixed. So the best version to fly, to use, is always the latest official version. If you do not want to play with nightly builds, I'm only flying nightly, by the way, then the latest official is for you really the way to go. And don't listen to people who said that, oh, this INAV 4 is better. Why do you say so? Please give me any argument that is valid argument that proves that INAV 4 is better than INAV 5. Because I would like to know why people think like that. Exactly which function is better in INAV 4 and lack of new functions from INAV 5 is not really like compensating from that. I would like to know. Micro 10 FPV, no, it's not true. No, it's not true. You have not set up correctly the newer version. That's the reason it's not working better. And there were a lot of changes between all those versions, and it just flies better with the latest versions. That's a period. Yes, the setting might be different. You cannot just copy paste all the settings and expect the same things to happen. No, but the correctly set up INAV 5 will fly better than correctly set up INAV 2.6.1. Always. But it might be a slightly different setup. BOAC Tech, is there a list for specific latest target for the individual boards, like F3 boards? We do not support F3 anymore. Nobody cares about F3. There are so many flight controllers by different manufacturers that we just don't know which target, like is current target for which one. Impossible to find out. Привет. That's where my Russian basically ends, and my ability to read Cyrillic. Years ago, when there were like 5 models of the flight controllers on the market, that could be done. But right now, when we have so many, this is just impossible. But the rule of thumb: if the manufacturer of the flight controller does not care to tell you which target you should use, probably don't use this manufacturer anymore, because probably they don't care. And if they don't care, why should you? 33 needs hello. Yeah, you have the board. Which board is it? Maybe we know something that you don't know. I cannot really promise, but maybe. /7, hello. Artificial Horizon INAV 6 is just fantastic. Like, come on, it's rock solid. It's not drifting. It's like there, like always. Like, it's not moving. Well, it's moving, but moving in the correct way. It's just like, yeah. So F3s, nobody will ever like support F3s anymore, because they are what they are. I do have to say that I have a good news for F722s. Recently with INAV, we've dropped some of the features that freed some of the resources, and looks like F722s and also F411s will live slightly longer than originally expected. In case of the 411s, there is still the issue of the relatively low performance, and you cannot really fix that by dropping the features. But 722s will most probably live with us for quite a long, because I don't remember how many, but at least a few kilobytes of the flash and the memory should be available one more time. So that's QRP. How did we fix the artificial horizon? When there was someone, there were two persons, by the way, who decided, no, I will do the math. And they did the math, and they did the code, and it worked. Plus a lot of testing. By the way, Mark, Blackist Tech, and Darren Lyons really were testing, and a lot of effort went into fixing that. I did nothing. Honestly say, I did nothing to fix the artificial horizon. Absolutely nope. Nothing. Paweł, what you did about to fix our artificial horizon? Nothing. I let the others. I delegated the task. I let the others to do it, and they did amazing job on that. So one more time, kudos for you. And from between you and me, don't buy F411 flight controllers anymore. No, stop. Tiny F3, nobody gives a tiny rat's ass about Tiny F3 BOAC tech, like that. Period. Okay, Bandita. Can I explain how to use control start to stop record if I use Runcam Thumb Pro? No, I cannot. I cannot really explain this thing to you because I do not have this thing configured anywhere right now. And I'm not even sure that this is doable with the thumb, with the Runcam. No, it should be. No, it should support. No, it should support the Runcam protocol. I will just say honestly, I don't know. I would have to do it by myself first. And I think I think I sold my thumb. Yeah, I sold my thumb some time ago because I was not using this. So I'm afraid I cannot really help you that much. But if you connect this thing just like you connect like Runcam Split, for example, it should work exactly the same way. Oh, you see, like Mark says that the thumb control should be working. You know where to contact him. On the Discord. Okay, let me. We are having fun today because time flies when you're having fun. Okay, so Y4 is correctly. Should we talk about the FreeSky new? Should I rant on FreeSky? I don't want to rant on FreeSky. F764, Chris Whitehead, not F405, F764. That's probably the best way to go. I don't want to run on FreeSky, so I will not be ranting on FreeSky. No, I will not be talking about that because it doesn't care. Oh yeah, probably what really everybody wanted to know. No rant. No rant. No, I will not rant. This makes no sense for me to rant. Ranting is, I should be more optimistic. If you want to be successful, you have to be more optimistic. No. Let's go. Remember when DJI released Air Unit O3 and it had a canvas mode that was not absolutely compatible with the INAV and to some extent even with the ArduPilot from the top? Do you remember when DJI released the Air Unit O3, which brought the canvas mode, which is not really a canvas mode, but the MSP DisplayPort support, By the way, exactly the same thing that WTF OS offers for a few months already, but it then turned out that this MSP DisplayPort is not compatible with INAV, for whatever reason it is. DJI, like always, decided we will make this thing work only with Betaflight and basically ignore everybody else. I even recorded a rant on this topic. Luckily, there is a fix. Because one of the developers, luckily INAV 6 will fix that. But how, you might ask? Well, very simple. One of the developers decided to implement the Betaflight compatibility mode into INAV MSP DisplayPort implementation. That's something nice, don't you think? With INAV 6, with the next release of INAV, you will be able to select the OSD type as Betaflight compatibility, and then INAV will pretend that it's Betaflight. It will limit the fonts used, it will limit the functionality, but as again, you will be able to see the OSD inside your FPV goggles and the Air Unit's O3. Bear in mind, not everything will work. Betaflight MSP DisplayPort implementation is a how to say that? I don't want to insult anyone. Betaflight MSP DisplayPort implementation is much less advanced than the INAV ones. In general, the whole OSD inside of the Betaflight is less advanced on the INAV. And that means that if you will enforce the Betaflight compatibility mode in the INAV 6 or later versions, not every element on the OSD will work. And every time you will want to display an element that is not officially supported by the Betaflight and the DJI implementation of the MSP DisplayPort, there will be just a question mark instead of the character. Better than nothing, right? On the other hand, the WTF OS had absolutely not a single problem to properly implement the MSP DisplayPort, including the INAV specific fonts. Because if you want to do something, you will do it. But if you don't care, then, well, what else can I say? Now, here's the next video you should watch. In the meantime, I'm Paweł Spychalski. Thank you very much for watching. And like always, happy flying! You see what I did over there? And I have a video. I have a video that I will publish. Because you have to save time. You have to save time. Home direction, arrow, and this. Now, this is the DisplayPort. So this is mainly about the character itself. It's not that the whole function will not work. It's just that if the font is not supported, you will just see the question mark. I do not, unfortunately, have the new goggles and the O3 Air Unit, so I have no bloody idea how it works. But there is a very long thread on the INAV GitHub, and you can just go there and read through all the details. There is a lot. So you know, closed, and this is this one. This is Betaflight 4.3 compatibility mode thread, when you can read exactly how this thing it's working. Mark, really? You think so? You think that Betaflight will... You think that Betaflight will, like, do it? And borrow the best OSD implementation there is on the market from INAV? Do you really think so? I don't. But it's me. It's me, the pessimistic. Two-way VTX communication. The fact that you have more fonts doesn't mean you have better OSD. And this is not really... if you ask me, the whole MSP DisplayPort is, well, it kind of sucks. The idea is kind of nice in the way that it solved the problem, but it's also not really the best idea how to do it. Mainly because, well, it still it complicates the font aspect because you are no longer in control of the fonts. When you are using the Max chipset, you at least are capable of controlling the fonts because you can upload the fonts to the OSD chipset using the same SPI interface like you connect to this to drive the OSD chipset. In the case of the MSP DisplayPort, we lack the option to manage the fonts. There is no way to upload the fonts over the MSP DisplayPort. And that means that every implementation either has to use exactly the same font or have different font for different implementation. And because I don't see this technically possible that all the players, three basically players on the field, agree to use exactly the same font set, it will always be a problem. Yes, we kinda need the canvas, real canvas mode with pixels here and there. But the problem with the real implementation of the pixel-based OSD is that, well, it won't be serial. Remember what FreeSky did with their pixel OSD and how much problems we had with it? Quite a lot. And this is even in case when the OSD was rendered on the Air side. Because the OSD was rendered on the Air side. And that meant that it was relatively simple to just have a short wire, the serial port set to the high transfer mode, and just send the data, even with the low resolution of the video we had in case of PAL. With all the modern, besides HD0 systems like Walksnail and the DJI, well, the goggles are rendering the stream. The goggles are rendering the OSD. So that means that the whole stream of the OSD and the whole stream of the video has to be put to the goggles, and then only goggles will lay out everything. And that unfortunately means that there will always be a problem about sending the whole buffer of the frame. And those systems are not really designed to transfer a lot of data. They are rather video based. The data is only like the sidetrack added to that. And even with the MSP DisplayPort, which is not really that big, because let's be honest, it's not really that big. It's like 40 by 20, 60 by 20, not too many like points, and we are sending like the whole like one number for each of those points. We already seen that there are desync situations. We have artifacts. We have problems here and there, and this is why in this approach, well, the full blown graphical OSD is less and less, unfortunately, possible. I don't see this thing really happening. Too bad, but that's unfortunately the situation over here. Everybody got very quiet. Come on, guys, what happened? It was me ranting on the Betaflight again. I know, I really should. And Alex FPV, no, it was not me. I was not. It was someone completely different. It was Mosca, Marcelo Bazera. He did it from Norway, all the way. So that's that. And well, I really should stop ranting because ranting is not a good sense. Peter, yeah, aircraft site OSD would be nice, but then you have a problem if you want to record without on the goggles without the OSD. Well, then and then your air site has to be slightly more advanced technologically to do it like that. Yeah, analog. Yes, analog master race. Everybody loves analog. By the way, when I also recorded and published the video about the Boxer, a Boxer over here, a lot of people ask me a question, but not a lot, actually two. Why every YouTuber, every reviewer published the video about the Boxer on exactly the same day? Well, because we were asked not to do it earlier. Radiomaster and quite a lot of different companies have the policy that they want to make the official announcement when the product is available and is public on the market. And it's like every time I get something from Radiomaster recently, there is just a nice letter. Please, Pavel, please keep it confidential until. And the same letter was sent to everybody else, and because nobody really wants to. I think I saw like once or twice that someone published too early, but it's not really relevant. If you want to have the nice relationship with the company, you do not publish earlier. And because leaks would be nice, but then is it worth okay, I will leak the picture of the radio 2 days earlier, and meh. Who cares? Who cares about that? It's just an idea. So everybody published on the same day because everybody were asked not to publish earlier, and you do not want to publish later because then everybody will see everybody else's reviews. So this is exactly why there was 20 videos on the YouTube, every single one of them about the Radiomaster Boxer, because we could not do it earlier. But that's. I don't want to say this is the NDA. I do not have the NDA with anyone currently, or do I? No, I don't. Especially not with the Radiomaster. But they ask politely. They use the word please, and when people use the word please, I tend to agree. If it doesn't cost me anything, I agree, because why not? They ask nicely, so okay, sure, no problem, absolutely. There will be no single hint of the information from my side before you allow me to do it. And this is like normal cooperation between like me and the companies, YouTubers and the companies. Oh, I have to come back to the why I left the INAV fixed wing group again. I was asked a question, but why have you left? Maybe you left because Steve works from Free Sky and you work for Radiomaster. No, I don't. I don't work for Radiomaster. I'm not associated with Radiomaster. I'm not sponsored by the Radiomaster. This doesn't work like that. If anybody would like to sponsor me, they would really have to pay a lot for me to have the agreement about like me shilling on someone's products. But then you will know it's not me. They really would have to pay a lot. And the reality inside of the RCFPV hobby is that it's extremely small niche. There are no huge video channels. There are no huge reviewers. There are no huge people. Yes, they are relatively very big channels, like for example Bardwell. He's the biggest, period. He's the biggest channel on the RCFPV, and there's no one really like even close to what Bardwell has. But even comparing to other like big channels on the different niches or without any specific niche, even Bardwell's channel is extremely small channel. Come on, it's only like 1 million something views every month. It's not a lot. Period. It's not really a lot. And this is why I don't like know, for example, if Bardwell charges anything for a video on his channel. I don't know idea, and I don't care. But I don't think that any channel in the RCFPV hobby can charge a reasonable amount of cash for publishing a video about the product. I doubt it. I mean, yes, probably some people charge, but those are not big numbers, and they are not something like a nice sponsorship deals that will allow you to like pay the next mortgage rent. Mortgage rate. Won't happen. Because let's be honest, the norm in this hobby for the YouTube channels, even the bigger YouTube channels, is like below 100,000 views every month. This is not a lot. This is very little, and nobody sees any kind of the money in the RC and FPV hobby. This is not something that will be the next big thing. There are no $1 million deals in the hobby because nobody cares. We had our few years when RCFP hobby was very popular. This is like 2016, 17, maybe even 18. But then like, yeah, well, not everyone is flying drones, and well, yeah, regulations and stuff like that. So recently even people stopped buying. This is the thing. People are not even buying anymore. I mean, they are, but not as much as they used to buy. Nada. Feliz Navidad. Tan, taran, tan, tan. So that's that. We are extremely poor hobby, and period. And when I say that, I bloody mean it. I honestly bloody mean it. I have a second YouTube channel about more technical, let's say, programming and other technical aspects. And over there, I'm publishing there like old videos from this channel and some technical videos about Java from time to time, once a month. And I'm only getting 1/3 of the views. And comparing like effort on that channel to the gain, like this to that, like, yeah. If I would spend as much time on that channel, the other channel, on like I'm spending on this one, I would be having 100,000 of views every month. But I'm like, so I don't really like feel like I want to publish over there too much. But that's like, yeah, like, bleh. If there are like 200,000 people flying FPV worldwide, I think it's too big of a number, to be honest, even. While there are millions of people that are into making videos for YouTube. Like, come on, the market is just like not really like the size of so. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Like I said, we had a few nice years, but this is done. This is over, and it ain't coming back. No. Blackist Tech you started buying spares because prices dropped. Yes, prices are slightly lower, mostly because the dollar went slightly lower than it used to. So that's that. And finally, euro is more expensive than the dollar again. I'm not buying spares, for example, because I have like those drones you see over there, like, and that's too many for me. I'm not flying all of them because I have no time, I have no will, I have no like why. Like the Pirk 7, my drone, my frame that kind of even got some traction like a few years ago. I love this frame, but even recently I decided that I will most probably dismantle this thing because I have no use for that. But I will put the electronics in a different frame and make it slightly like more compact design. Like I have the cine lifter over there, the homemade cine lifter I built last year, and I still want to record some of the videos with this, record some B-rolls, record the video how to set up INAV on the cine lifter, and then I'm selling that. Not even selling that crap. I'm just selling motors, ESCs, and flight controllers separately selling the DJI Air Unit, and only keeping the frame because it was not flying for the last, I don't know how many months. That airplane over there, I'm not using that stuff. So you know, even if I will keep half of that, I still have that much of the spares for Ercito Fly Vistas. Come on. Do we always? I also kind of do not think that we always should buy the latest stuff because, okay, maybe, yeah. Yeah. So that's that. And I one more time got kind of like depressed about ranting about stuff again. I really should stop ranting because ranting about stuff is not really like very like useful thing. But well, it happens unfortunately from time to time. So there is no other way around that. One more reason that I think that the hobby is in the decline. This year I've met someone on my flying field twice. I met two people twice the whole year. No, I'm sorry, 3 times. 3. And every time I was there, not counting those 3 times, I was just flying alone. 2018, it was like 8 cars. And we were flying in turns, so that 4 drones in the air at once. Now, nobody of the people I was flying in 2018 fly even anymore. Maybe they do, but maybe they are flying with someone else, not me. I doubt it, but maybe, who knows. Mark, yes, I was even checking what's I even got the invitation to this. What's the name of this place? Hoppergarten. This with this huge empty cooling tower. Hopper fun park. What's the name? Meppen, yes. Fun Park Meppen. Yeah, Meppen, exactly. I was even thinking maybe I should go there, but man, this is far. Fun Park Meppen is far. Meppen, it's like how far? 800 kilometers. Yeah, it's fucking far. 700 kilometers. Okay. On the other hand, I want to visit Hamburg next year, so maybe. I like Hamburg. I like Hamburg as a city. I think it's a nice city, a very interesting city, by the way. So yeah, maybe Yeah, I know, Slash. Thanks, man, but yeah, half away. Like, yeah. No, it's really fucking far. On the other hand, maybe, who knows? On the third hand, I really have a lot of stuff to do next year, so who knows? Visit Estonia. Oh, Estonia is probably even more further away than. Oh. I have to fix that light. Estonia is far away. How far would be? 1,600. That's my wild guess. If I would want to go to Estonia. Am I right? Probably. Tallinn. So how far is Tallinn from my place? Ah, 1,544 kilometers. Told you it's far. Oh, bloody told you it's far. Yeah, no. 17 hours. On the third hand, maybe we will go to Italy next year by car. That's also the same. I don't really know. I don't know. Everything is bloody far from everything. Yeah, must make big FPV meeting. I'm not an organizer of this kind of things, so I don't think that's really what's gonna happen. Okay, gents, I think we will be slowly ending. It's almost 10 p.m. And to be honest, I'm tired slightly. That means that FPV family app. Okay, I will check this thing. I have something from this kind, but I don't think it really makes sense a lot. So that's that. I will check it out, maybe, who knows. On the other hand, I'm not really traveling that much, so it's also not a thing. This will be probably the last live stream this year, at least the live stream of this type, because I want to make a live stream, the build live stream actually, because I'm working on something. So that means that I don't know when, and if this year or next year, somewhere during the week, we're gonna maybe have a live stream of me building something. I'm not sure if this will be the Atomer Sea Dolphin or a bicopter, because I'm building another bicopter again, like me and the bicopters. I should stop making bicopters. But that's all. And besides that, well, happy Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. This big battery should not have died after 2 hours in that lamp over there. That's a really chunky battery, as you can see, and it was full, so it should not have. Oh, but it did. Huh. So maybe the battery was not fully charged. Who knows? I will have to charge this battery then. But I think I charged it previously. Interesting. Anyhow, that's the situation. Thank you very much for watching, guys. The next Saturday live stream will be probably on the 8th of January, maybe 15th. I'm not sure really yet. Maybe 7th, 14th. New Year, definitely. Maybe we're gonna have the one extra build live stream. And besides that, like always, happy flying, guys. Happy flying. Maybe not when it's cold outside. and snowy and rainy and but I would like to wish every single one of you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and a nice gathering with your families and spending really like the quality time without worrying too much about stuff, because that's what I want to do this Christmas. Maybe even visit a place or two. By the way, have you read that this aquarium in the Berlin exploded? There was a huge aquarium. I mean, huge. I was there with my older daughter like 8 years ago. We kinda even something like that. We kinda even enjoyed the experience. It was kinda nice. And this year I wanted to take my younger daughter there. Well, we are not going there anymore because like the aquarium does no longer exist. Exactly, a lot of dead fishes. Too bad. Luckily, nobody died besides fishes, of course. But no, I read somewhere that they like saved like a few hundred fishes. So maybe who knows? But yeah, well, I'm not going there. I will just have to find different places. Deutsches Technikmuseum and Naturkunde Museum. Probably those two. Million, yes, 1,000 tons of water. That's a lot. That's a lot of water. Okay, that's all for today. Happy flying.